Tony Slattery?
Do you reckon that one? Why, you make an offer you know they can't accept. Then you get all the glory without any of the pain. Thank you very much. I'll never forgive you for that. Ever.
Fraser! Come on, we'll be late!
Love, dove. Love, dove. Toffee. Coffee.
Are you going to earn your keep or what?
But there's no one...
See if he wants something.
Hey! Do you want anything else?
What? Oh, no, sorry.
What did you think of the tune?
What tune?
The one I was just playing?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening.
These rubbish.
Yeah, they are.
Have to hurry, because it'll be starting shortly. We'll be late and we'll miss the train.
They're not.
Eh? Not what?
Rubbish?
What isn't?
These? Are looks.
That's my poem.
You shouldn't chuck them away. This one's good.
Give it to you. Do you really think it's... What? That it's... You know, like you said.
It's not bad.
Really?
Yeah? It's okay?
I'll race you to the pictures.
Don't be chapped.
Oh, please, give us a head start. Please, Fraser.
Go on then, get on with it.
Count to 10. Don't cheat. Say when.
Go.
Ma'am? It's me, Ma'am. Fraser.
You got any spare change, mister? Please, just a couple of bob.
Fraser, come on. We're going in. We're going to miss the start.
Just don't move, Ma'am. I'll be straight back.
Come on, Fraser.
Do you hear us, Ma'am? Just don't move.
What was all that about?
Nothing.
The beggar's down there. You don't go giving your money away to that sort.
Just shut up, right? Look, you go in. I'll not be a minute.
Where are you going? It started.
Just tell us what happens. Mom! Where's she gone?
Who?
The woman who was begging here?
Oh, I don't know. She just went.
Biker Grove back on Friday afternoon, possibly the best programme on children's BBC. Another good show is, of course, The Ozone, and tomorrow, Through the Keyhole of Cicero's Flat. Plus, Betty Boo and I see who's got the whitest knuckles. That's The Ozone tomorrow at 10:45 on CBBC. Oh, hello. You'd mix back to me before I was like, oh yeah, finished reading the word squint, squint. It's like being Philippa. I'm like, squint, squint at these words. Why is typeface? Be quiet. People are sitting here eat. It's outrageous. No discipline on this show. Oh, I wasn't squint, squint. Yeah, finish that story anyway. Get off. Now, if your name is Rebecca Jackson, prepare to be embarrassed because remember a couple of weeks ago we did the lookalikes. If you see a picture in one of those mail order catalogues or anywhere really, something like that, and you think it looks like somebody famous, we want you to send us the picture. But it's obviously not got to be that person. But depending on how close they look to the real person, we might send you a CBBC t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, very nice t-shirt. Rebecca Jackson. Have you noticed the unbelievable resemblance between my figure on a 20 French franc note and guess who? Now, who do you think she's going to say this looks like? Jason Donovan. I have to apologise because she says it's you. But I'm sorry. Rebecca, it looks nothing like Jason Donovan, which means you do not get a long sleeve sweatshirt. This is the address if you want to send something to us. It is Children's BBC, BBC Television London, W12 7RJ. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to do this one, which apparently looks like me. What a shame. We're back tomorrow with the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Tricky Business, News Round, and 5 Children and It. Take care. Bye-bye.
A new season of Punchlines on BBC One.
You just don't see the good sides of Harvey.
There are no sides to a two-dimensional cardboard cutout.
He just needs the love of a good woman.
The shotgun off the Khyber.
I will assume command and navigate.
Session on, you know. The paper said it was over. The paper said Elvis was alive and working at Alton Towers.
Christmas and birthdays were the worst. All I could give you was £0.5 of milk tray, and you give me a blast from Yves Saint Laurent. Well, I don't know why I bothered. You never wore it. What did I have to go with it? A pair of pink velour tracksuit bottoms.
New comedy for the new season on One.
The home of comedy quality. It is, of course, BBC One.
Marcus!
El Dorado, tomorrow at 7 on BBC One.
Tonight, 9-year-old Kate Harvey is rushed into intensive care. Her parents... I'm diving for cover as I continue my journey through Lincolnshire and the Wolds.
In BBC Two's film shortly, there's trouble in store for Robert Logan on his voyage around the world, Shipwreck. This is BBC One.
The 6 o'clock news from the BBC with Peter Sissons and Moira Stewart.
Good evening. The headlines at 6 o'clock. Serbia says it wants 20,000 people out of their homes in Bosnia. It tells the United Nations to take care of them. The UN accuses the Serbs of blackmail. It wants no part in ethnic cleansing. President Bush is accused of a sex scandal. He says it's all a lie. A man who tried to sell private documents about Paddy Ashdown is jailed for 2.5 years. One building society raises its rates as 2 others say no change. And Dublin comes to a halt to welcome home its Olympic medal winners. The Serbian authorities in northern Bosnia have confirmed they're preparing to expel some 20,000 civilians, most of them Muslims, from their homes and their homeland. An official in Zagreb from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees says it would amount to the biggest single act of ethnic cleansing since the fighting began. The UN has been given the names of the people involved and has been told to evacuate them to Croatia. One official said the demand was in effect blackmail. The implication was that unless the UN accepted the refugees, they would continue to live trapped in refugee camps in Serbian-occupied territory.
For months, the inhabitants of Ul-Haq have endured a siege by Serbian forces. Conditions have steadily worsened as artillery strikes and food shortages bite. Now, some 20,000 of them, Muslims and Croats, face expulsion from their homes. It's happened before. Last month, these Muslims reached safety only after signing away their property to the Serbs. Then, as now, the UN can either agree to assist in this ethnic cleansing or leave the people to their fate.
It's a very difficult situation. It's an enormous amount of people, and well, it's a sort of catch-22 situation.
It's a development that can only galvanise the UN Security Council as it prepares to vote tomorrow or Thursday on a resolution to allow military help for the aid operation.
The most important thing is to keep people living, to make sure that there is a generation coming, that babies can be fed. And that's what this is all about.
The resolution merely talks about the possibility to use all necessary means to get humanitarian supplies through. It does not say, it does not prescribe how this should be done, but it does state the principle and it gives the authority to do so.
UN convoys have already delivered at least 4,500 tons of aid by road, and some officials hope that the passing of the resolution itself may allow the operation to expand. More likely, though, is the need for a safeguarded corridor. General Lewis Mackenzie, the UN's former commander in Sarajevo, was at the Pentagon yesterday, warning of the problems with that. Briefing the American Defense Secretary, he'll no doubt have stressed the difficulties of operating in classic guerrilla country, as others do.
The danger is that we shall start dancing to the Serb guerrillas' tune. They will choose where to attack, we then have to respond to it. Much more important, really, is to try and daunt the Serbs immediately by showing that we're serious. For example, using the air weapon initially to enforce the instructions to pull their artillery back and stop standoff fire on Sarajevo.
But guerrillas with anti-tank or even anti-aircraft weapons can readily melt into the woods, having attacked a convoy, which is why the British government, among others, is still wary of committing troops to this kind of terrain. So exactly how the aid convoys will be helped hasn't yet been decided. There are plans awaiting the UN resolution, and today's news of massive ethnic cleansing can only accelerate the process.
And if the UN decides to use military force to safeguard the distribution of aid in Bosnia, the peacekeepers and the aid workers already there are likely to find their work more difficult and more dangerous. From Sarajevo, Jeremy Bowen.
The UN has learnt the hard way that it's not easy to bring humanitarian aid to Bosnia. The 1,100 troops they have here at the moment have been shot at and shelled fairly consistently since they arrived. It's surprising there haven't been more casualties. They've been kept to a minimum because the UN doesn't do much more than bring food into Sarajevo. When, more ambitiously, it tried to get to the besieged town of Gorazda, its convoy was ambushed and its people were lucky not to be killed.
We try to get into some of the villages around here, and at the moment it involves almost as many armoured cars as it involves aid vehicles, and it's a quick and dangerous operation, there's no doubt about it.
But even though it's a strictly limited enterprise, different countries like to do it in different ways. When the Canadians were here, they tried to deter ambushes with big shows of force. The French believe smaller convoys are harder to hit because they move faster, even though they travel with less firepower. The lessons the UN has learned will be all they have to go on when they set up a bigger, more aggressive aid operation. But the UN hasn't risked using many ground troops, and everybody here is well aware of the dangers more of them would face. In case that frightens off any country that wants to help, the Bosnian president is telling them to use air power.
Obviously, some ground troops, not very large ones, but some,